Hey everybody, welcome back to Stratego Freaks for another exciting day of Stratego. We have two big matches today. The first one is our King of Strategus match against our current king, MRW, Marcy Regina Wu, against my friend and known as the most handsome man in Stratego, Suspicious99, aka Captain Dirtbag. I am putting both of their links in the description of this game. They both have YouTube channels. Please go like and subscribe. Go visit their channels. They both are going to have some really interesting content to look at. Marcy's just getting started, but in the future, I'm sure Marcy will be putting a lot of good educational and exciting content on there. A little background on both players. Marcy Regina Wu is the most dominant king we've ever had, with like 11 or 12 combined title defenses. That's an incredible feat, and let's see if he can add to it today. A little bit about Captain. Very experienced player. Has a lot of live experience, has traveled over Europe, competing in a lot of different competitions. He actually won in I think his second tournament was the best newcomer, which is a pretty nice accolade to have. In 2025, he was also on the German team, the Stratego Vikings, and was teammates with world champion DC Annie's, Iceman, Tourney Kid, solid names to be associated with. He's played, as I mentioned, in Germany, Switzerland. He took fourth in the tournament world championships in Switzerland, and open tournament, I think 12th place. If I got any of those wrong, just forgive me. Let me know, Captain, in the description if I misrepresented any of your statistics there. But he is a medal winner with a wealth of experience and has a really strong understanding of the game. He's fun to play against. We've played a few times. It's a coin flip between Captain and myself, or Suspicious, and we match up pretty evenly, and I do enjoy playing with him. So thank you, Captain, for the good times, and more and many games to come for sure. Let me take a look while we're waiting here at the rankings. We got winners still sitting at the top. Overlord, Loser Maker, 7 Seas. There's Nemesis. Eagle, of course, he's always up there. Kamikaze, Garufo, BFG, Maelstrom, Gyron. Look at Gyron sitting right there. He's going to make his move to 700 in the next few months, no doubt. 411 Discipline, another strong American player. Carlos, Frosty, Domer can't love Henry. These Greek players, I tell you. Noobmeister, Warlock, another strong American, of course, Zach21, Akaboom, good friend Akaboom, and Gweebwe, as I like to call him, Gweebs. The top 20 is just super solid. Let's go back. Let's see here. And real quick, let's go over to the podium. Last man standing, I think it's going to be Frosty and Overlord vying for the championship, which is going to be a really great match. Overlord totally outplayed Winner to take that top spot, and that was really nice to see Overlord getting a shot there to beat the highest ranked player. And between those two, they're just very even. And Frosty is playing quite well, and he's up there too, so that should be a real interesting game. I'm looking forward to that. I have no idea when it's scheduled, but I'll be tuning in for sure. USA Championships. Look at Mad Boy Brad. Shout out to Mad Boy, MBB, as I like to call him, with the 2 wins. I believe this is his first tournament, so to be sitting up there in the top is fantastic. And I think his only loss was to Winner, so that's pretty respectable. We're going to see great things from Mad Boy Brad. Let's see where let's go to B. There's Mantis with Asari 1 and 2, not playing well in this tournament, just getting outplayed and not playing my best. I matched up against Tooney. I looked to rebound and hopefully win that match. Dave sitting at the top Dave got me pretty good in the last match. I went in with a total game plan. I looked at some of our previous matches and I committed to something and I was totally wrong. So I'm going to remind myself not to commit to a game plan if things aren't going the way I thought. So that is definitely a problem. So we've got some really good matches coming up here. Nemesis is doing well. I Know Things Good is doing great. 3 wins. There's our good friend Marcy Regina Wu, current king, and looking to keep on kicking butt. A couple of draws there. That's wild. Banana Venom and General Thompson. So really interesting stuff going on here. All right, let's go back and get into the games. I expect our competitors to be joining. Looks like Henry's playing Noobmeister right now. That should be real interesting for sure. So yeah, getting back to today's game, I'm expecting Captain. He's a very unpredictable player, which is what you want to be when you play Stratego. He can be completely wild and do crazy setups, or just play a sound fundamental game. He can, he has that range where you can be hyper aggressive, switch gears to defensive, and a little bit in between. So I'm not going to make any predictions on the setup until I start to see the bones of their setups. And I think Marcy speaks for himself. Although you don't see Marcy on the rankings, I believe, in the there's my phone, of course. I got to hang that up. Hold on one momentito. Sorry about that. My apologies. Oh, there they are. And let's click on over and watch this game. So, yeah, Marcy's very smart player. I've mentioned before, champion chess player, only 15 years old, clearly very intelligent and has an understanding of opening, setups, knows how to end a game, a very stingy player to crack. You're going to have to play your best game to get an advantage over MRW, and that's what Suspicious is going to have to do today. He's going to have to get an advantage, maintain that advantage, and get to that flag. We can't have draws in this game. A draw will result in both players losing, and then the next 2 player on the roster queue will vie for the crown, which makes this so exciting because it forces the king to go for it, because you can't accept a draw. You got to go, and that makes things super interesting, and that's why I like this format. It just is. All right, they're off. So Marcy leading off and looking to pressure this right side of the board. Marcy notoriously uses scouts early. I've seen a little bit of change in the last few games. I think he's trying to keep things unpredictable. There's the first scout exchange. But Marcy will generally go through 4 scouts right out of the gate. But, once again, smart players will mix that up. And, maybe we'll see a different kind of mindset in this game today. I had a real nice match with Suspicious99 the other day. It was very close. And he's, a very crafty player. Snatched a kernel of mine, put me kind of in a thought blender, and he got me good. Another exchange, both players feeling out, and that's a heavy push. And another exchange, very, very even in their thought process right now. Suspicious coming down with that, and there's a bomb discovered. So there's 4 scouts out of the gate and an early bomb. Now, MRW pushing over that piece from I to J. Maybe it's another scout looking to shoot down the board in front of that bomb over here on J8 and scout I8. That is a possibility that we might see here. Suspicious taking a little bit of time, blocking that. Okay. A mystery piece from behind the lake for MRW coming over. And that's a scout. And another exchange of scouts. Very even match. Takes and goes up the captain. Suspicious99 with a major, snatching up that captain. And, you know, minimal, if you're going to get the piece, you know, you want to give up the minimal. And at that point, to snatch up that captain, the major is the minimum information you want to give. Or I should say the maximum. Retreating that major and pushing with another piece. Marcy making a beeline down the J file, maybe to test the corner. If it's a corner flag, that would be a very early attack. You know, scouted it early. But MRW content on keeping the action and forcing captain to respond. Now pushing back. Driving that piece in, didn't take, coming down aggressive. And it was another scout, even on scouts. And Suspicious still up the big piece, and now a captain known on Marcy Regina Wu's side of the board. Another piece coming into action here. Most of the action is just being relegated to this right side. I think Marcy might be trying to elicit some responses to figure out what is happening. You know, maybe trying to probe this side in order to get a read. Let's say Suspicious99 starts to migrate pieces over. That could be a sign of him not feeling comfortable, like not wanting to have pieces come down and attack that side. All right, they're down, both down to 2 scouts. And if you're new to the game, you know, you can, depending on how your opponent behaves, can kind of give you the information you're looking for. You know, a good read, a solid read is all you need to take control of the game. Here we go again. Follow my cursor, people. If you're looking at Suspicious99's side of the board, he's got this open file on the 7 line here and 1 over here on the 8. So this is a great way to transfer pieces to attack, defend, whatever you need. And you're going to want to clear those spaces. That's one reason why you do want to use scouts early. Scoops up another scout and retracts the captain. Pushing. Marcy, a great information player, will sacrifice pieces like captains and majors and even a colonel sometimes to get the information that he's looking for. Discovers, and now Marcy out of scouts. That's very typical. Now 2 majors known. But that's handy, though. Now that the scouts are gone, Suspicious has a little bit more freedom with the spy. No shooting spy. Sometimes you put it out there, it gets discovered with those scouts. So that is one dilemma Suspicious doesn't have to worry about now. Yeah, I do try to keep a scout or 2 for the end game for just those reasons. And that opportunity for Marcy is now gone. But I don't think he cares much. All right, stacking up those pieces on the J file and coming in. Marcy looking to be aggressive and keep the pressure on. They're going to exchange there. Another defending piece coming over to the corner. And it turns out to be a miner. That miner was trying to penetrate, come down, and that's a snap call by Suspicious, removing that miner and revealing the kernel. Now, there's two majors and a kernel revealed. Those are going to become targets for MRW. You can rest assured that there's going to be an attack made on one of those pieces, probably some bluffs. We're going to see here. Yeah, getting rid of that miner. Didn't like it down there, willing to take the risk. And that felt like the right move for Suspicious. All right, now the action is turned to the left side of the board on the A and B file. And Marcy Reginu in the setup. And they're going to exchange there. Suspicious has played in the King of Strategus before. Will this be his first crown? To add to the many accolades that this player has. Yeah, once again, head over to Suspicious99 Captain Dirtbag's channel. Another hit and goes up, gets that lieutenant back. There's some targets over here now. Suspicious playing a very solid game, up in material right now. It's too early to call it a significant advantage, but you know, if you're going to play against someone like Marcy, you want to get the advantages. And if you can maintain them into the end game, things are looking very good. Yeah, another reason I love Stratego is, you know, getting to know these players from around the globe. And I never would have met Suspicious99 had it not worked for Stratego. And it's amazing to have this international community playing each other. It's a lot of fun. So now Suspicious willing to tuck some pieces away and maybe let the action come to him. And now MRW kind of playing the, you know, just jostling some pieces around, trying to formulate the attack. Another piece tucked away, keeping those lanes open for Suspicious. And Marcy coming down with a mystery piece, I think, on the A file. That's coming in. Now the center, trying to stretch the board out. And now on the right side. I think MRW is really looking to find those big pieces now. You know, probably trying to scout one more, you know, because finding that Marshall or Jen, especially the Marshall right now, would be very advantageous for both players, but having the pieces known, the Colonel, the Majors, and, you know, Marcy Regina isn't likely to forget where those pieces are located right now. And they're going to exchange. Now Marcy doesn't have any more scouts, and makes it hard to test some of these pieces. You know, you don't want to keep going down material, but once again, it's very early in the game, and pieces will be exchanged. You know, Suspicious will most likely have to give up that captain advantage checking on a piece at some point. Two-minute time advantage for MRW. All right, so now here we go. Really nice game so far. A lot of patience. being exhibited by both players. Waiting for that moment to strike. You know, that's what we're looking at here. Pushing into the setup. The back two rows for Suspicious are unmoved. Flag could be anywhere, and same with Marcy. 9 possible bombed in locations and 10 possible bombed in locations. That's a hit. Captain was trying to get very sneaky with that miner, looking to possibly open up the flag. Even on miners now. Suspicious has that captain advantage and the 2 scouts. Marcy Regina Wu is a fairly fast player, rarely gets in time trouble. That chess background definitely helps when making quick calls and decisions. Playing a speed game of chess, bullet, or whatever you're into, really makes the mind calibrated to those fast decisions. Definitely not my strong point. All right, so both players just shifting pieces around. The bones of Marcy's setup slightly revealed, only in the sense that there's been some moved pieces on the 2 lane there. If I'm guessing, the flag is somewhere on C or D, possibly open. MRW does do open flags, not afraid to do that. Okay, so Marcy making a little bit of a push here up the center. And Suspicious is going to meet that piece in the middle. Pushing. And scoops up a lieutenant. Collecting pieces. Aside from that colonel, no major pieces have been revealed for either player. That's going to happen soon, no doubt. Pushing. And gets another piece. Material advantage in Suspicious's corner and giving up very little information. Exchanging down would go very good for him right now. Now we got a big aggressive push here from MRW. Is this a miner trying to get to the corner? I forget if that was a known piece. My apologies. Classic Mantis behavior. Forgetting most of the board. That's coming in. Nope. That feels like a piece, but it's hard to say. That piece is not trapped. Could be now, though. Having that, material advantage gives Suspicious the opportunity to utilize one of those pieces he's up to get information. So he might try to bring something over to check that piece. Still has 2 scouts. Looks like he wants to migrate something over to push that piece out. Opened up the lane. Now let's see if he migrates a piece over to attack that. Marcy might be trying to just absorb another scout. This is coming over. Marcy maybe pull the trigger here to see that piece. And it's the gen. So that's the first big piece of the day, really. And let's see if Suspicious can take advantage of that general information. Uses the lieutenant that he was up in to test the piece and finding out a very important piece at the right time. All right, Marcy bringing up a mystery piece from the A file. Another piece coming out. This first time that Captain has moved a piece from the 9 file. That is a definite mystery piece. And Marcy's eyeing that. Is that the Marshal? Is that the Gen? It's hard to say. Could be anything. Could just be another bluff piece. Definitely things are thinning out here. Now Marcy is really thinking about how to progress here. Oh, this piece is coming over. Going to escape that from the corner. And pushes. Real interesting game here. I suspected it would be very, just a kind of an eclectic game, and that's what we're getting here. Now, even down the material, that piece gets tucked away. Even down the material, MRW is a very savvy player. I've seen him come back from material deficits before, plays an amazing endgame. And as I said, I don't think the material is so significant that this isn't just pretty much an even game. Slight advantage for Suspicious99. But, we're talking about one of the best in the game right now, who knows how to play from positions like this, and we're going to see some excellent gameplay moving forward here. Another mystery piece coming up from the C file and making its way to the center. And a mystery piece for Suspicious now pushing down. And bringing that over to the center as well. All right, so now the action has kind of slowed. There's just a bit of jostling and trying to get a good read. I got to be honest, it's hard to place the pieces on either side. Pay attention to the details, people. If you're new to this game, you're seeing a very patient game on both players' parts, and fundamentally very sound so far. The King of Strategus is just a fun King of the Hill type game, but these players want to win, and they're playing their best games for sure. And I recommend, if you're new to the game, to please join the Discord. There's a link in the server. We'd love to have you participate and be a member of what we're doing here. You too can be a king, and it's good to be the king. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Send me a private message. Oh, and there is a scout. And discovers the captain. So sneaky there, using that captain, absorbs another scout. Suspicious down to 1. Exchange of of majors there. Plenty of miners on the board. Suspicious not moving those back rows at all, really, except for that one piece over on B. I think there was another one, maybe on G, popped out. But he tucked it back away in there. When will the marsh be revealed? You know that's coming. About a 2-minute time differential, still plenty of time. And another piece moved. So the bones of MRW setup is getting revealed. Let's see here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 possible bombed in location. There's 4 possible tripods here. And could be anywhere. Still could be open. Don't know. Captain making an aggressive push. Wants that piece out of there. Doesn't like it. Now retracting and coming over to the other side. Being very stingy, forcing our king to make something happen here. And gets the captain and the colonel revealed. Now, even on the captain piece, the only advantage right now is the scout and the sergeant. B-line doesn't hesitate coming down. Putting Marcy on the spot here. That piece could be anything, and it scoops up a lieutenant. Marcy out of lieutenant, using the major masterfully to grab that piece. Forcing that colonel down, absorbing a piece, and now retreating. Very nice. It looked like this piece on D4, Marcy trying to, keep that a secret, whether it's the spy, Marshall. It could be either one of those. That major will be a target. And bringing it all the way back up the B file and towards the center. In a lot of these games, when they're close like this, there's a moment where there is just a an explosion of takes and information found. And there's that breaking point. The tension starts to build. There's pieces stacked up, and then they just go. And we're getting close to that point. And here comes another mystery piece. Suspicious being very suspicious, living up to the name. Coming on to that piece. Hits, loses the major, finds the colonel. But goes up another captain. But now, down the big piece. Going to try to parlay those, maybe looking to exchange down, willing to go down the big piece and play the advantage of material into the end game, which captain has the ability to do. As I mentioned, an experienced player, plays in a lot of live tournaments, which is a totally different game. I got to imagine that the pressure is completely different than playing online. So he's not rattled by being down the big piece. Now coming up on the other side and retracts. Now this is a mystery piece here on D3. That feels like the spy, but I could be way off as I usually am. So we'll see. Place your bets, people. Where's the flag? Where's the spy? Where's the marshal? Time is definitely crunching down, but not a factor at the moment. Still a 2-minute advantage for MRW. All right, this piece coming down the J file. Sneaking up the board. Now we do know of the one bomb over on J9. Is that the flag? In the corner there on J10. That I'm no doubt when things get down to the nitty gritty, that bomb will be tested if Marcy can get down there. Already tried a sneaky miner to get there. Got snatched up by the colonel earlier in the game. Now, captain making a push down the left side, down the B file. And there's the gen, and scoops up another captain. Now, there's a 2-captain advantage here, pressuring this piece. Hyper-aggressive play here from Suspicious99. And, definitely taking a material advantage, although down the big piece. Pretty good timing there. Boa Constrictor clamping down on the position. The marshal's about to be revealed on both sides. That's what it feels like to me. Feel like the spy is on E3 and the marshal is on F3. I could be wrong based off of, a number of factors here, but mostly my memory. But now Marcy's starting a counterattack on the right side of the board. Interesting. It's a heck of a game. Heck of a game. Exchange of kernels. Oh, wow, what a play. Interesting. That was going to be a blind hit, I think, by Suspicious. But gets removed both spies. Now the gen has freedom, and Suspicious's Marshal is still unknown. There's the exchange we're looking for. And that general is down in the setup. Here comes a piece looking to get down and in and possibly open up the flag, trying to scout something. Suspicious has knowledge of Marcy's gen. What? Oh, this might be a hittable piece here. Marcy might lotto. I think it might be a little premature to do that. Did that G piece move? That G9? I can't remember. Might be able to fork a piece. Oh, he moves. Yeah, it did move earlier. He's playing a GTO type of game here, not looking to give up a single piece. Now another piece comes in to help. All right, this is a pinched piece. No, it's not. Suspicious with that centralized general has locked the board down. Remember that, people. He's stopping anything from coming up by placing it down there in the center. If Marcy has pieces looking to move, and now Marcy coming back. This piece is coming in. Is this a minor? Marcy retracted back, doesn't really like what's happening here. That's what it looks like. It could be just a ruse, trying to portray weakness maybe, or fear of the position. But definitely a very interesting game. Four minors left. Those are going to be so valuable here. And Suspicious taking his time, really trying to get a read. These two have played each other before. And, they know what to expect on on a casual or whatever. They might play a little. That's a push. And that's a minor. Now that piece is released and coming up. I think that's looking to trap those other pieces there. This is coming down. Looking to save whatever. Yep. So that looks like a dead piece there on G7. General coming back. Making chase. All right, so even in the lieutenants up. Yeah, he's going to be able to save that piece. Now it's the classic endgame, up the big piece, but down in material. I'd say a slight advantage for Suspicious here. He can stretch the board out, but Marcy, being very savvy, knows how to play in these positions, is very stingy. Don't expect a lot of movement on these back row pieces to reveal anything more. I would say the prime move for Suspicious would be to exchange the Colonel and try to utilize, maybe use that last scout to find that other major. This could be the major coming out of the corner there on A1. Marcy does like maybe trying to instigate an exchange right now. Marcy also looking to block off, maybe placing the major there on the file. To stop a minor coming down. Is this a minor? Is Marcy bringing a minor down? They're forcing that. Now, if Marcy could find the other major. Oh, this is coming in. And takes the minor. Marcy down to 2 minors. And Suspicious still has that scout on the board. Gonna try to utilize that, and here comes a piece. Now this looks like the major. And there's the scout. Bang! Gonna grab a sergeant here, it looks like. Now, is Marcy looking to bluff this piece as the major to attack? Yep, to attack that captain, but it is possibly looking to get down. Is it putting all the eggs in one basket? Looking to block off this side and get a minor down on this side. We'll see. It might be a flag race here. A race to the flag, possibly. It all depends. This might just come down to Suspicious making a read on that other major. And not allowing anything to come down the files there. And Marcy only having the 2 minors left. If one more minor goes, that is going to make things very problematic to end this game. I think we're getting our money's worth, people. This has been a fantastic match, regardless of the outcome. You're seeing 2 very savvy players going at it. It's a classic game here. The big piece against the material. Here comes now. That piece is coming up and does not like what might be coming down. So it looks like the flag is E1 or G1. Take your pick. Suspicious with 3:52 on the clock. This is making a break for this down the center. Marcy realizing the importance of the minors here. And another piece wanting to stop that from coming down. Marcy being very stingy. Is this a minor trying to stop it or a sergeant? Okay. Cat and mouse game. This piece coming down. Escapes it. Marcy might be on the flag here. That's down to one minor. Marcy going for it. This is super interesting. Chase game. Pinched off. What is that piece? Another sergeant. So Marcy with the two majors and only 3 moving pieces left. So the next piece that moves will be the minor for Marcy Regina Wu, making it very easy to identify and possibly stopping that from happening, from getting down. Are we going to see a lotto here? Oh, and it's the flag. Marcy hits the open flag, goes for it, had to do something, didn't feel comfortable, and man, what an ending there. You know, Marcy getting outplayed for much of that match and then had to make something happen. You know, that was a clutch call. Went for it. Could have been a bombed-in flag, but still went for the win, and that's why Marcy is the king. What a tremendous game by both players. Super exciting. Suspicious. That was fantastic. This is kind of a fun game to review. Had a couple things been different there, I think Suspicious wins that game. But, you know, congratulations to the king, finding a way to win, knowing when the time to go and make it happen. If you don't go there, you're losing that game. So hats off again to Marcy Regina Wu and adding to his title or crown defenses. Fantastic job. Guys, it's a busy day in America today. Not only do we have our next match between Remy and Skyfall coming up very soon, it's Super Bowl Sunday. So this is a very exciting day for me and the rest of America, so that should be a good Super Bowl. Little tidbit, Nemesis might be joining me for some commentary in the next match between Skyfall and Remy, so stay tuned for that. That should be pretty fun to have his insight, one of the top players in Stratego, online players, so I always like to hear what Nemesis has to say. That should be great. So once again, please look for the description of both of these players. Their links are in the description. Open up an account, guys. We need you playing and supporting the game. So go to Stratego.com, open up an account. Head over to Strategus, open an account there too. And don't forget to join the Discord. Love to see you. We got a bunch of great players in that Discord that love to provide their instruction, insight, and play games. So let's do it. I'll see you guys on Stratego.com. I'll see you on Strategus, and I'll beat you there too. Bye, guys.